All right.
See, look, if you didn't do that, you would have just talked about that for like 4 months.
I know.
It's like, oh, someday I got to do this. It's like, no, this is going to take you 5 minutes to do, and that's it.
I'm telling you, that Japanese skill of yours is rubbing off on me.
Pick up your phone and do something that takes 5 minutes to do.
What do you think?
That's incredible.
What motivated you? Like, did you used to get smacked on your knuckles with a ruler?
This is not motivation. This is you taking the longest route to get to an extremely easy thing to do. Motivation is lifting weights at the gym. This is picking up a phone and pressing a couple buttons.
That's mind motivation.
That is so funny.
What happens if you didn't do your task as a kid?
Oh, I don't know. Regular shit. I wasn't like, my parents weren't like super strict, like disciplinarian. So I think a lot of this just comes down to, this is almost like another confidence thing where it's like once you work yourself in your head thinking if it's going to be much harder than it is, that there must be some like complex solution to it, then you just end up putting it off.
Yeah, that's what I did with Adobe Rush. I couldn't believe how easy it was to open up that app, dude. I spent 2 hours. I quit. I went on YouTube, dude. Finally, I just go adobepremiere.com, see my thing. I'm already logged in. It's right there. It literally took less than a minute. And dude, I went and got a bacon, egg, and cheese. I went and got 2 coffees.
Almost everything with technology is so much easier than people make it out to be. Because you think about it, it's like these companies are run by like very smart, like money hungry people.
Yeah.
So it's like they want you to use their product and they want to take your money. So it's like, why would they make anything harder than it has to be?
Do you remember your first computer?
I mean, my family always had computers since back in the day, but those were like real shitty, like old, like thrown together Windows computers. Like,
I mean, you don't
90s.
remember like going to the store when you were a kid and it was the first computer? Because you were.
It wasn't the first computer. We weren't alive for that.
I mean, I was in my household when
you saw your first computer.
Yeah.
Your first computer wasn't my first computer.
That's crazy. So
computers were around for before we were born.
But they were expensive, dude. They were like $2,000 for a cheap one.
Yeah.
And you guys had one.
I mean, we didn't have like the nicest like. Back in the day, buying a computer was a much more technical experience. That's what I'm saying. Like now, when people act like you have to have some sort of engineering degree to put together a computer and figure out how to turn it on, and it's like, no, these are consumer products. Everything, you pick up an iPhone. Have you ever seen like a 2-year-old on like an airplane and their parents have to get them to shut up so they give them an iPad? Those kids aren't just watching movies. They're like opening apps and they're doing all this stuff and playing games. That's because an iPad is designed for a 2-year-old to figure out. When you buy an iPad, it doesn't even come with instructions anymore.
Wow.
Because that's how easy they make it to operate. And if you just go in, those 2-year-olds, it's not like they like grow up that somebody sat them down and taught them how to use an iPad. The 2-year-old, they just have the confidence where they pick it up and they think this must work, or they wouldn't have handed it to me.
You know, I met this guy, and he trains Navy SEALs how to shoot missiles for real in like South Carolina, I think he was saying, or something. And he was saying, I was like, dude, these Navy SEAls got to be tough. He's like, dude, nowadays, these Navy SEAls, it's more if they can do stuff with a computer. He's like, it'll blow you away with it. They're not like... They'll spend their time with these computers. They're like, they could do so much more.
Well, they're not doing like hand-to-hand combat anymore.
Right.
Now it's all drones and shit.
Yeah, and he's even saying like they could like do stuff with a computer if they were in a field, like put things together and like fix a computer, anything that's wrong with it. And I never thought of a Navy SEAL to be like that.
I'm pretty sure the way this guy explained it, there was something else to this that you're not.
He was like,
you're not telling me. I'm pretty sure there's more of this.
He was like
I mean, I think if you're a Navy SEAL and you like have to like kill somebody, then it's like I think
you can't throw a computer.
There's different technology, yeah. But I mean, like you're still sniping people and shit. But yeah, there is. It's more sophisticated. It's not like I don't think they don't make Rambo guys anymore.
Right.
Where it's like this guy's going to go out in the woods with a knife and like
that's
take
what
down an army.
I expected that.
I mean, it's not efficient anymore.
You think they'd be huge and all this stuff? He's like, no, dude, it's way more valuable to get somebody that knows computers.
Well, those guys these days, they're trying to take down like a terrorist cell.
Yeah.
So they got to like figure out who out of this million people are the guy with the bomb. So
That's
they're doing
insane.
like, James Bond shit. They're not doing Rambo anymore, I think.
Yeah, I remember our first computer though. We went to Gateway. It was a huge thing. It was thousands of dollars. They seen us coming from a mile away.
Oh yeah.
I remember the biggest thing that my brother wanted to do was either animation, or I remember he sold me on it by saying, Dom, we can make baseball cards. We can make our own baseball cards.
Wow.
Because he had to talk me into it because, dude, you know me, I'm not into computers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to learn nothing. But he was telling me, no, man, if we get this computer, we can make these baseball cards.
Wow, we're going to be rich.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we were even thinking about selling them. And I was just like, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd have my own baseball card.
Wow.
We got the computer, thousands of dollars, dude. I never played with it once.
I mean, it's not like you could have made, to be fair, you could have made baseball cards.
Easily.
That's not like, that wasn't out of reach. Your brother was on point there.
Yeah, we had a printer. I never even attempted it.
Yeah.
It was too much to do it. But it was so, we were printing stuff all the time. I could have easily took a picture of myself, made a baseball card.
Back then, though, I mean, what year was this?
I was probably about 9 or 10, so this
like
had to be
95.
about 96.
Now, back then, computers were a little bit more technical. You had to know a little bit more about what was going on.
You know what we did do with it? We got this little cheap microphone and we made rap songs. We were able to put beats on.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, we were rapping, man.
There you go.
We were called Libris, was the name of our rap group.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's you and your brother?
Me, my brother, and my best friend, Day.
Wow.
And we'd be like, Libris dogs, one and son, reunite. We'd be all out there rapping.
Wow. You had like a whole routine?
Dude, I think we still got some footage. We did the LA Bulls. We did a remix.
Whoa.
It was a pretty good song. I could go back and listen to those now and be like, we could have been the next Eminem. We could have been
stuck with it.
Puff Daddy. I mean, look at these rappers now, dude. They don't got nothing on us. We could have just sat there. Nowadays, we could be like, son of mine is not.
Well, nowadays, it's like you could be like, I'm a guy from Youngstown, Ohio.
Right.
And that would be your niche.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Look at this idiot.
I'm from the streets. I'd have to get my hair a little thicker before I start rapping. Dude, we used to be out there rapping, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What were you rapping about?
We did everything about Libris and Aquarius, all our signs, Capricorn.
It's like astrology shit?
Oh, my God. White girls would have loved us. Girls in general would have loved us.
Did you have, like, necklaces and shit? And like?
No, I couldn't afford the necklace.
Star signs?
We used to draw stuff. We made our own little artwork. It was always LA for Libris and Aquarius because it was my brother and Dave first, and then I came on later.
You guys were heavy into astrology. Huh?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, we were getting into it. My brother was a big DMX fan. He'd be on there.
Wow.
He had
so like what's
LA Dogs, Libra's son.
Everybody's a Libra?
No, one of them was a Libra, one's Aquarius. I don't even know the things. I know mine was Capricorn.
Oh, wow.
What's Libra? February or?
I had no idea.
Aquarius is October.
Yeah.
I'm Capricorn. You never got into the signs, huh?
Yeah,
My parents bought me a remote control car the night before Christmas because they knew I ain't doing nothing with computers.
Wow.
Complete slow classes, man.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta read stuff.
Well, back then, too, it's like there wasn't as much stuff to do.
Chat rooms.
There wasn't that much internet stuff going on. Internet was still for, like, weirdos back then.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we'd be in those chat rooms all the time and you'd see people.
Yeah.
We used to mess with people. I'd be going on there like 14-year-old female. I was the original Catch a Predator, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was like half the internet back then.
Yeah.
Was people trying to trick other people into stuff.
Chat rooms, and I don't even think you could send photos. What was it, Yahoo? What was the chat room thing everybody did?
Yeah, it was like AOL.
And you'd
Messenger
be hitting up
and
your
shit.
friends in school.
Yeah.
Remember, all your friends would be crowded around the computer. Oh, message Stacy. Hey, what are you doing? Watching TV. Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
And sure, on her end too.
Yeah.
There was like 10 other people there.
Can
Like,
we walk
shit.
Yeah. Can we walk to your house and stand outside for 20 minutes?
Yeah. You seen South Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, are you going to the skate zone next Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we did the chat rooms. I forgot Yahoo Chat or something. Mine was Dummy DJ 15, and there was this girl my friend tried to set me up with. He's like, lie about your age. So we made my handle Dummy DJ 15 to make me look older.
Wow.
And I was actually like 12 or something, 11.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's because I'm Italian. I've always loved Legos. If there's some Legos here, I'll play with them right now.
What's that got to do with Italian?
So, well, it's builders, you know.
Oh, yeah,
I think an
right.
Italian person
It's a union
designed
job.
Legos, yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it What do you call them? In the living room, Sunday morning, I'm playing with my Legos, and she surprised me like this 16-year-old girl. Dude, we had this big window. I look over. I was so embarrassed, dude.
Wow.
She's like, "You're playing with Legos?"
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Italian.
Yeah. I ran in my room. I was like, "Tell her I'm sick."
Wow.
I'm Italian. Yeah, I told
You were
her.
really getting down with Legos like that, though?
Yeah, she was like, "What do they call you?" She's like, "I don't know how we got on the subject, but I was my friend Day, he's older. He told me, he's like, "Yeah, tell her, be like, yeah, baby, you know they call me Dummy DJ 15," and I said
Wow.
it. I used to say any things my friends would say.
Yeah, that's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
How'd she react?
Pretty good actually. She came over. It worked.
Yeah.
She thought I was 15. She was 16.
See, that was an early lesson right there in confidence.
It was.
Anything you just say it, if you just say it like you believe it, it's like things tend to work out.
Yeah.
Even if in your head you're thinking this is dumb, this is never going to work. If you just say it out loud, things tend to work out for you.
Yeah, it all starts with a thought.
Yeah.
My confidence is now coming in. I gotta program my mind like that. Like I've been telling myself I'm doing these videos. Dude, I've been cutting up videos. I gotta throw the words on them, but I probably got about 65 clips, and they're edited with the camera moving. I got into it, man.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna throw the words on real quick, bada boom.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I airdropped some stuff today.
Yeah, right? You're learning. Once again, this just comes down to I'm going to actually sit down and do something.
But so you just, when you were like 8 years old, you just had your little green tea and went up to the computer and did some shit?
I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of stuff to do back then, but yeah. It always came very naturally to me, I feel like.
What would you do on the computer?
Back then, I was learning how to make music. I was like drawing and shit, playing games.
Man.
Back then, it was a lot of just playing games, though.
I never played
the computer back
games.
then was like, these days, everybody is like by default just on their phone, on Instagram or something. But back then, being on your computer meant like shutting off from the world.
Remember the internet?
It wasn't a social thing, though.
Yeah, did you have 2 phone lines? We had to limit our internet because it used up our phone line.
Yeah, that too. So it was like being on the internet back then, dial-up internet was like, you're really like, this is a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody hang on, I'm going to do this for a second. And you got to get off it.
I have to do it late at night.
But it was really like being on your computer back then was like being antisocial.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're just in a room by yourself. Whereas now it's like everybody is on the computer by default. And you look like a weirdo if you're not on your phone.
Right, yeah, Facebook messages. I don't know if that thing's still there. You remember when you go on your computer and it lights up so other people know you're on?
Oh, yeah.
Your stuff comes in, bang, hey, man, I was by your house. I lived on a corner house. People would always come over. We had all these windows. And, you ever just want some time to yourself, man, we'd literally have to go hide on the floor.
Wow.
People would be knocking on the door. I see you.
You didn't put a curtain up?
I mean, we had curtains, but people could still see in.
Yeah, they can sense.
They know we're there. It was a little corner house, big screen TV.
See, do you think, though, when you, like, eventually you're going to move into... Would you like to live in a place where, like, nobody knocks on your door? Because, you live in, like, apartments in New York City, and it's like there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
People are just... During the summer, everybody's just sitting around outside. But it's like, if you go to, like, my parents' house, their neighborhood, there's nobody outside. Nobody ever knocks on somebody's door.
Yeah, my favorite place I ever lived was West Village because the people would always come over. I'd just be chilling.
Because that's like extremely social.
Yeah. My buzzer would ring all the time. It was like Seinfeld. I'd be like, oh, who is it?
Yeah.
One of my friends, we'd hang out.
Yeah. Can you imagine living in a place, though, where it's the complete opposite of that?
Nah, I kind of want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I like having my friends around. I'm a social person. I used to be a homebody, but... Now I like the more friends, the merrier. Make it a good time,
But just think about how many people, especially like during the pandemic, just like I gotta get out of New York City people. Yeah. Where it's like you end up moving to the suburbs in Jersey somewhere, and it's like you do get more space and you get more for your money, but it's also like there is zero. Most places in America, I think, most neighborhoods, there is almost zero contact outside of your, Yeah. You drive home, you get out of your car, and you walk into your home. There's no like neighbor to neighbor stuff going on anymore.
Yeah, I used to have one friend, dude, and I liked hanging out with him, but not all the time. And I was like his only friend. And, dude, he used to drive around my house for hours. My neighbors would be calling me, hey, I don't know if your buddy, if he left something there, but he's been driving past your house like 9 times waiting for you to come home. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have a phone till I was like 20 years old, dude. My parents, I remember I was on somebody's plan when I was like 17, and I left it on the roof of my car, and it was gone. But then I didn't get my next phone. Like, it was hard to get a home phone.
Right.
I don't know if you remember when you first moved out, you need credit. We needed like $700 down for a home phone.
I never got a home phone.
Yeah.
Once I moved out.
Oh, never in your life?
Nah.
But did you have a cell phone?
Yeah, I just got a cell phone. That was it.
I couldn't pull a cell phone.
That was like a radical move back then, though.
Right. We didn't have all the, just pay as you go Walmart phones.
Yeah.
It's a big deal to have a phone.
But it's funny, though, because you're like a social person.
Yeah.
So that's like an anti-social move almost.
Everybody came to my house, though.
But yeah, that's the thing. Now you just live in a place where everybody just knows you're home.
Even when I was in Youngstown, everybody would come over, dude. I had the part. Sometimes I'd have 60 people in my house.
Wow.
People would be on my roof, dude.
It's just to hang out?
I'd come home. People would be sitting on my roof. Yeah.
It's just people you don't even know?
No, it'd be mostly my friends. And then sometimes you'd be like, who's this person? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always weird. You get a guy there that's trying to be the alpha male, and it's like, dude, this is my house. What are you doing?
Right.
One guy ate all my bread. I still, to this day, I don't know what he was trying to prove. He just kept eating slices of bread.
Wow. But just straight up bread?
I'd come home, people would be pranking me. One time I came home, my whole roof was covered in aluminum foil, and my friends wearing Daisy Dukes this short.
Wow.
Acting like they're contractors. The neighbors were all looking at them. Huh. Or one time I woke up.
What's the prank?
I guess it's just weird. You come home, your entire roof's covered in aluminum foil.
I guess.
They all worked at restaurants, so they would steal the aluminum foil, like 3,000 feet of industrial aluminum foil.
Oh, wow.
One time I woke up and I had like 100, we counted them, dude, 168 milk crates in my front yard.
Wow.
This was before that milk crate challenge. This was way back.
It's funny, these pranks. This is like the kind of prank where someone just has a lot of time.
Dude, these guys.
These aren't like very thoughtful, like clever pranks.
It's
This is just like, I just got a bunch of shit. I'm going to put it somewhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, but if you think about it, they did
these wouldn't, I mean, like if you put that on TikTok, that wouldn't go viral. That's just putting a bunch of shit in someone's yard.
Yeah, I don't. You never know with TikTok, it might. But these guys, I think what would have made it go viral is the effort they put towards getting them. They didn't have cars; they did this all on skateboards.
Wow!
So they skated around all of Youngstown in the hood and stole milk crates from everywhere, dude. 168 of them.
Wow!
Dude, I'd wake up to a knock on my door. My buddy used to. My buddy's like a smaller guy, and we gutted out this panda stuffed animal. And he'd sit in it, and another person knock on the door, and then they'd open it up, and you'd see this panda, and they'd walk up to it, and he'd start running.
Wow.
They did pranks all the time, man.
Huh.
They saran wrapped off the bottom of somebody's house one time. They couldn't open up their doors.
Wow.
Because they had all that industrial stuff.
Once again, these are the kind of pranks where it's like, we got nothing to do.
Youngstown.
And we got a whole lot of energy.
Before phones. Nobody had phones.
It's very high effort, low reward kind of pranks.
Yeah.
These days, the kind of prank is like you do something that's just going to catch somebody on video. But I almost respect that more, where it's the kind of prank where it's like, all right, we're going to spend about 10 hours doing this.
Yeah.
No videos, no nothing.
You know what we used to do, too? We'd go around and take everybody's porch furniture and put it at another person's house and set it up all nice.
Yeah, this is like a culture that this is completely foreign to me.
I can't believe you guys didn't do that in San Diego.
Nah, I mean, this was Northern California. But yeah, I don't think anybody... I don't even know what we were doing, but we weren't doing... Here's the thing. Pranks? I think this is like the blue-collar spirit almost, where it's like, these guys are all going to grow up to be like movers or like plumbers or something. And so it's like, we're getting started now. So it's like, I can't get paid for this yet, but I feel like doing some manual labor.
One of them actually became a scientist, and dude, he traveled the whole world. He made some major breakthrough.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that there's a video of him somewhere where he's smacking people with a dildo.
Oh, wow.
And now this dude's curing Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I can't believe you never did any pranks with your friends like that.
I mean, I guess it's like ring the doorbell, run away kind of pranks.
Yeah.
But we weren't... I don't think I didn't have the kind of friends who had the patience to spend more than an hour doing something.
Dude, my friends had that type of patience.
Think about that though. Imagine kids these days don't do that.
Yeah.
Just because they're on their phone and they're like stimulated now. I think back then there just wasn't shit to do.
Yeah.
So you just got like all day long and no job or school or something to get to. So it's like let's really do a project.
It was around the time that there was what do you call back then? There was payphones were everywhere.
Right.
Like in front of businesses and busy places, there would be a payphone.
Yeah.
20 years ago. And so what they would do was unscrew the bottom of the payphone and put cat shit in there and screw it back on, then go across the street, call.
Once again, though, that's not even like a video prank. That's just like, this would be funny.
Yeah.
Let's stand here and watch.
There was no way to video stuff. There was no... Yeah. Well, they did get the video stuff on tape with like...
But there was no like way to get it, you just have a personal tape at that point.
You couldn't post it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, except for one of them made it to CNN, dude. They made it on CNN.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It was crazy. I think the biggest one they did was that fake body they threw over the parking garage.
Right.
It was like just like a scarecrow with a gallon of Chili Willy red juice.
Yeah.
But...
See, this kind of energy, though, that like young people have to do dumb stuff, it's like that hasn't gone away. It's just like it's gotten more extreme.
It all started
when you see like these kids who are like dying, falling off the train, subway surfing and stuff. It's that exact same energy, except now it's like because those kids these days don't have the patience to actually do like a extended project. So it's like to chase that same thrill. It's like I got to get on top of a moving subway.
Yeah, back
and,
in
like,
the
film a video on the 7 train.
And normally it'd be the shopping cart in the bush. Remember that was the big one.
That's the real basic shit.
That was the jackass.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you break your arm or something there. But
I think it all goes down to the jackass videos. That's what started I don't think people really did that much extreme stuff before that.
Well, with the jackass was like early TikTok almost, where it's like we're gonna do this and we're gonna somehow get famous from it.
Those guys would have been crazy famous if they would have started with the TikTok back then.
But you think just back then there was just a guy with like a VHS tape.
Yeah, it was those big camcorders, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, to get somebody that tape, you have to, duplicate it and mail it somewhere or something.
I remember doing open mics. Comedians used to shorten the straps on people's book bags, and they'd go to pick them up. That used to crack me up.
Yeah.
People get so mad. Why are you messing with my straps? Yeah, dude, we pranked all the time, little stuff. I mean, we just never had... Or we used to roast. Before the pranking, we used to roast each other.
Oh, yeah.
We just sit around and make fun of each other for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's classic. But even these days, I wonder if kids still do that.
You can't. Kids are too sensitive.
Yeah, even like young kids are too sensitive to do that kind of thing now. Or it's like someone's going to get shot or something.
They really would, dude. You say anything about anybody now. It's a freaking problem.
Yeah. What's funny, though, is that like that kind of sensitivity, on the one hand, it's like people are, it's almost like you're overthinking it, where people are just like trying to find things to be sensitive about and they're like complaining about it online. But then there's the other side of it where it's like, no, guns come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little shit like that leads to somebody getting killed.
Yeah, nowadays you can't do none of that.
Yeah.
I kind of miss being bored, dude. Bored is when you would... stuff. I drew pictures. Nobody, who's really drawing pictures now?
Yeah.
We used to iron our clothes special ways, so we have all these different creases.
Right.
We just spend 4 hours ironing some Dickies. That's what we did.
I think these days when like parents, because everybody is so worried that their kid is going to end up being like some drugged out fuck up.
Yeah.
Is that like if you're like a good parent these days, you try to like make your kid do shit as much as possible. Just keep him as busy as possible.
Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts, and then sports, and then learning Chinese, and then learning the piano, and then it's like, go run on the treadmill for a while. So you just try to like fill up their day with as much stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas back, I think when we were growing up, I mean, like you got out of school at 3:00, and it's like, no, you're good.
That's one thing my dad was real good about. It wasn't learning Chinese, but he knew to somehow keep me busy or I'd get into some shit.
Yeah.
I remember we had this tree in the backyard, and he was like, yeah, chop it up with an axe. Dude, I spent the whole summer chopping this tree up. Me and my buddies would take turns, And then he was like, "Oh, we gotta get rid of this tree, dude. 15 minutes with a chainsaw.
Wow.
Yeah. Done." I'm like, dude, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, but he kept you like you got in that Rocky shape.
I did, dude.
Yeah. It's satisfying to chop up something, right?
We used to have fun. We'd play the game. We'd be like, "Is that a one hitter quitter?" We'd be coming in with the thing.
Right. Yeah.
Chop.
But yeah, I mean, if I was a parent, as much as I criticize people these days for like kids are like they put too much pressure on their kids, it's like on the other side of that is just your kid becoming crazy.
What?
And
when
like
you put
getting
too
into
much
trouble.
pressure?
Yeah. So it's like I guess you got to find a balance.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like you grew up under the pressure, under the microscope.
Nah.
You say you grew up easy though, but
Nah, I mean compared to other
disciplined.
people. Nah, discipline. I think you're comparing me to you. I think that's that. I think we're looking at things. You're not looking at things relative. You know, that's not the right comparison.
I never get stuff done. I remember the teacher wrote something: when something is mentally challenging to Dom, he abandons it.
Well, that's one thing. If you like, it's almost healthier to just abandon it and say, "I can't do this." It's way worse to say, "I'll do this eventually."
Oh yeah,
I'll do it in 4 months. You know, I'll do it next week. I got some, when I have time, I'll get around to it. And it's like, no, that's because if you just abandon it, then it's like, no, someone can help you. And if you just declare to yourself, that's at least you're being honest with yourself at that point, where you say, I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to go to the gym at all. Then it's like someone can say, no, let's go to the gym. Let's do something. But it's like if you tell them like, I'm too busy to go to the gym. I'll go next week. Then next week turns into 2 weeks, and then it's been years. But yeah, it's much healthier to just completely quit something. We see it with stand-up. People say where it's like, I'm gonna get this. I got this new job, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna work 6 days, but then on that 7th day, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna write all day long, and I'm gonna do 10 shows. It's like, no, you're not.
Dude, I was talking to somebody one day, and this was like 5 years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna be a stand-up, but first I gotta graduate law school." I'm like, dude,
yeah, exactly.
Like, bro, you're not gonna be a stand-up.
It's just not. Yeah, I don't know.
You would have to start stand-up after you graduated law school and be like, that was stupid. But if you're looking at, 10 years of law school?
Well, to do anything, it's like you just have to do it a little bit every day. And maybe a little bit could ideally be more than a little bit, but doing a little bit every day is the only way to actually keep yourself in the mix.
That's what Arnold told Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like if you don't feel like going to the gym, just go a little bit and mess around.
Right.
And then once you're in the gym, it's like you're probably going to do something.
That's what I've been doing, dude. I've just been going with 10-pound dumbbells. I'm like, hey, the gym's right there. I went yesterday.
If you want to run for like 10 minutes, screw around with a couple of machines that you don't normally screw around with. It's like you're still doing something.
Spend 20 minutes there. That's my new mentality. I'm going every Monday through Friday. I want to hit the gym at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. Think about, too, it's like, it's crazy when you think about like Hulk Hogan and like Shorts. Well, especially Hulk Hogan back in the day, because he was like wrestlers back then were like party guys.
Yeah, drinking every day.
Trying to keep in that kind of shape when you're on the road. It's like being on the road.
Yeah,
like those dudes travel 50 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, and
they got to stay jacked like that. It's incredible.
Yeah, dude. They do talk about it, dude. How they just hit in the gym. That's brutal lifestyle right there.
Because even like they were all steroid. Everybody was juiced up back then, but you still got to work out.
Yeah, like for Arnold, he was just in L.A. probably on the beach hanging out.
Yeah, Arnold's full-time job was bodybuilder for a long time. So it's like that's all you do.
Yeah,
wrestlers have to actually like do shit every day, and you got to be traveling from city to city all the time.
What would happen if somebody tried to stay in the gym like 4 hours like Arnold? You think you'd probably just give up? Like there's no way you could do it.
Well, I think your body, you do need to recover.
Yeah.
So it's like I think even bodybuilders, it's like I think you work out for like 2 hours in the morning, then you like maybe 2 hours later in the day, but nobody's in the gym literally all day.
Anytime I'm in shape, it is the moderation thing. It's always by mistake. Like last time I was really fit, I was living with a guy that all he did was eat healthy every day, and he went to the gym every day. And he'd be like, hey, man, you want to go? He was like 50 years old. He could outwork out me like crazy.
Right.
And I just got in the habit for 3 months, and I didn't even think about it. Dude, we'd be in the gym 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's why anytime I have to like when I'm going to Planet Fitness now, and I hate it. And it's like there is a gym I could go to if I just like I'd have to get on the train and go to like Williamsburg, and it would probably be cheaper and it'd be a nicer facility. But just knowing myself, it's like if I add an extra 20 minutes to me getting to the gym, it's like it's just not going to happen.
It would never happen.
It's going to happen once or twice, and then it's like I'm going to start making excuses in my head.
The gym I went to, which I just ended the membership because I'm never going to take the train, but I got the one over here at Blink, but New York Sports Club was directly across the street from my house.
Oh, yeah. It has to be.
I had to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's directly across the street.
Yeah.
Now, this one's like 2 blocks walk. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Why don't you just transfer to Blink? Dude, I've seen Planet Fitness. I was going to sign up there.
It's both too crowded.
Nah, dude, Blink's not.
I walk by Blink all the time. It's the exact same problem. Any gym is going to be crowded.
Nah, you got to go to Blink during a different time, dude. I think Planet Fitness is really crowded.
Nah, you can't even see Planet Fitness.
I walked in there.
Oh, but I mean, like, you can't see it on the daily.
Well, you could see the window.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're not seeing the actual. I look at both. These gyms are the same. They're both $10 gyms. It's like,
well,
why
mine's 20.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. But I mean, like, they're both going to be super crowded. That's the thing, too, with the way the gyms are, like, the business model of a gym. It's like, even if you go to Equinox and it's like $300 a month and there's like a spa and all this nice shit, it's still going to be crowded.
Well, my gym's dead. I go all the time. My gym's dead till about 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
If I go at 4, if you go there right now, there's probably 15 people in the entire gym.
I don't know.
And they added a couple squat racks now. Dude, girls are getting on these squats. I remember back in the day, you'd never see girls on squat racks.
That's like a TikTok thing now.
I'm seeing girls busting out 4 plates, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy cow.
But that's like the new thing is like people are realizing that like weightlifting is way better than just doing, cardio and like Pilates and stuff.
Yeah, I was just Googling. You burn so many more calories. And when you weightlift, you burn calories for 2 days.
Yeah.
Versus cardio, you're just burning when you do it.
I don't really like just like on an attraction level, though, when the girls get too like ripped.
Yeah.
It's a bad look to me.
Athletics, cool. I don't like when there's certain girls that'll just... like, the
bodybuilder physique.
Yeah, they get like
very, very odd. Yeah, it becomes a posture thing at a point where it's like you end up standing in a weird way, and it's like, yeah, you've gone too far.
Well, and you know what it is? Naturally, I think it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm more attracted to a woman. Like if I was attracted to a man, I'd be into that. But I'm attracted to woman features. Like you want that soft. You want like
exactly. Well, you don't want it to be like too chiseled.
Right.
Yeah, 6-pack and like it's very odd to me.
Yeah, I talked to a girl once with abs. I couldn't do it. It reminded me of my buddy Jacob. I just like, dude.
Well, it looks like she's training for something.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I'm like interrupting. But it's like when you see a girl and she's like, yeah.
She told me, I was like, what's your workout routine? She's like, I just flex all day. She was a little off, but she would just stand there and flex. And she'd be making this face.
Yeah. It's not a very feminine thing to stand them. Yeah, to flex your muscles like that, I guess.
All the veins were coming out, dude, ripped. Had the little cheekbone, had the line in the tricep over there.
Yeah. It's too much. Have you ever known girls who were actually like going for like a bodybuilding thing though?
Yeah, dude.
You become obsessed.
I got a cousin that's real strong. My cousin, she's a power lifter.
Oh, yeah?
And, dude, she's extremely strong. Deadlifts, squats, bench.
Wow.
She'd whip the shit out of 95% of my friends.
Wow. I think, though, like when I see... it's one thing... I think there's powerlifting, and then there is bodybuilding. And it is kind of a different thing, right?
Yeah, bodybuilding is more about physique. Powerlifting,
bodybuilding is just like you're trying to get, like, you're like dehydrated and you're like, juiced up.
Well, they got different kinds. They got sculpt, the kind that you would do, like if you're smaller like me, you would just try to get chiseled, like. But then they got the one that's bodybuilding. But there's one physique it's called.
Yeah.
That's for if you don't got big muscles. And then there's bodybuilding. Then there's just straight out powerlifting. That's
That's like picking up logs and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, dude, think about back in the day, like, the way my family grew up in Ohio. My Uncle Lou told me he used to bench press railroad tires. Like, I'd be like, how much would you bench? He'd say 4.
Wow.
He goes, sometimes I'd warm up with 2, and then I'd go hard with 4. They didn't even know how much weight they were doing.
I wonder how many reps you're doing that.
Just as many as you could.
Yeah.
But they didn't have, like, weight sets where, like, you had to have money to have a weight set in the 50s and 60s, I think.
Well, I
People
think
would
it's
work
just
out
like
with cars.
Yeah, I think there just wasn't the science behind it wasn't established yet.
Yeah.
So I think you just figured out I'm doing something that's kind of hurting me, so I must be getting stronger.
My father was one of the most ripped jack people I've ever seen, even though the science wasn't behind it. I'm telling you, everywhere we went, dude, he'd be turning heads. He was like,
wow,
straight up bodybuilder style.
But he was like walking funny, kind of.
No, he was just ripped, dude. And his he walked normal, but he was just strong, dude. He had a 57 Chevy with no floor pans, and he'd sit inside it and press it up. That was his leg workout. And then, dude, he worked out all day, like 6-7 hours a day. Everybody'd come down to the basement. He'd drink coffee and pop and eat chicken wings. And, dude, he was ripped and jacked.
Wow.
So these people that say, oh, you can never get skinny eating that, I beg to differ. If you work out for 8 hours straight every day.
Well, I think it's just not sustainable.
Yeah, he did for like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, you can't keep that. Once you see a guy like that in his 70s or something, it's like things tend to go downhill.
You got that tennis elbow.
Well, yeah, because you've been like kind of burning it at both ends for a long time.
Yeah, everybody's getting them knee surgeries. That's why I slow down now. Like, you got all your uncles now. Are they getting surgeries all the time?
My dad's his knees are all shot. He's been playing tennis forever though.
It's funny. Yeah, like, I'll do it.
You see someone like Donald Trump. And he's like early 70s now, and this dude's always been a slob. He's never been in shape. You've never seen a good picture of Donald Trump, even when he was young. But like I've heard him talk about it. Why his philosophy of health is you shouldn't exercise because if you exercise, you're only wearing down your body. Which it sounds crazy because he's such a slob, but it also like there's some logic to it. It's almost like it's like a car that you've just never taken out.
You think it works like that?
Well, I think clearly, I mean, this dude is like, I think all of his joints still work. I don't think Donald Trump is the kind of guy that has knee problems.
Wow.
It's because he's never run in his life.
Well, he never had to even work hard one day in his life, any physical labor.
But I mean, like his body, at some way, he's like fat and looks gross, but also the parts are all still brand new,
Yeah, I guess it makes certain sense, but you'd have to be a billionaire to live that life because I had to work. I had to move furniture and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd show up hopping out of that big van.
But just like, you got to imagine if someone did like x-rays now and it was like they started looking at your cartilage and stuff, it's probably pretty rough in there.
It is.
Yeah.
I got an impacted vertebrae.
Yeah.
The lady was like, I'm surprised you're not in massive pain.
Wow.
Every now and then my back goes out.
Yeah, and it's like that kind of thing. It starts to like, it like goes exponentially once you get to like 50s and 60s.
I always worry when I bump my head. Like, dude, I fell asleep on the train. This was like, and somebody punched me in the head. This was like 2 years ago.
Wow, that's
dude,
from your bit?
They got me hard, man.
Wow.
No, I was just on the train asleep. I fell asleep when I was living in Queens. I was living in Astoria.
Huh.
I forgot I was taking the 7 train, and I accidentally fell asleep or something. And dude, it was like 2 a.m. Cracked me in the head, dude. Hard as hell. I'm like,
just to rob you?
I don't know if it was a pipe or what. Nah, I think just playing a prank. But dude, I'm telling you, I had a lump, bro, and I worry about that to this day.
Wow.
I'm like, do you think that's ever gonna come back and bite me in the ass?
Well, I mean, it was probably like the decade of boxing that's gonna come back to bite you.
I never had a lump like that, dude.
Ah, the lump isn't. That's not a concussion. I mean, concussed is from like just like it's a accumulation of getting hit.
Taking blows.
Yeah, that's what they're realizing about CTE and all that stuff now. It's not just like a football player who gets rocked one time, but it's like, no, if you're just getting like 10% hits, those all add up to 100.
What about, did you ever see that Chinese torture or whatever it is? Where
the
they
water
have
torture?
Yeah, is that with the drop of water?
I think that's more like psychological. That's not like, concussion.
What happens though after?
It's just like really, really annoying. And you just do it long enough and you just annoy the shit out of somebody.
I could think of way better ways to get information out of people.
Yeah, but this one is like psychological.
Yeah.
You just leave that shit going all day long. And then you're not like, it's not the kind of torture where you're like twisting somebody's arm and they just start spitting stuff out. You torture the wrong guy. It's like they're just going to tell you whatever they think you want to hear.
Man, dude, I had a neighbor that was tortured in World War II. Dude, fingers mangled, dude. Feet mangled.
Wow.
Ruined, dude.
How was he psychologically?
He was off. He was a little messed up. Yeah, he'd cut his grass all the time. He'd like cut his grass every day, all the time. He's like, it's the only time my mind's free.
Wow.
And dude, I remember I was talking to him. Like, you know, you're a kid. I said, why are your fingers all mangled and chewed up like that? And he was like, I got tortured in World War II. I was a soldier. POV. What's that? Whatever
POW.
that is. Yeah, POW. And dude, he had the tattoo. You know, they number you.
Wow.
Yep.
Man.
I knew a few people fought in them wars. My grandfather was in that war, dude. He told me he used to do the opposite. He'd be the one that he said him and his buddies would do some messed up shit to people.
Wow.
Like try to get their license. I think he told me a story one time. He cut a guy's like toe off and like tried to mail it to the person's family's house or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Sick shit.
It's like
dude.
a movie.
Yeah. He's like, we would.
It's fucked up because you pull that kind of thing off and then it doesn't actually work.
Well, who are you mailing that
to?
So
all you do is, there's no way they deliver that package.
Right.
And then, you just ended up doing the most cruel thing in the world and getting nothing back.
Those people back then were different, man. Like my grandpa worked at a mill. You didn't really have feelings. Like the dogs all had rabies.
Yeah.
And he's like, we'd have our welding gloves on. And he's like, we had to like, he said they'd snap their jaws so they can't bite you.
Yeah. It's funny because that's like, those are the years that like, there's some people that like, let's go back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We got to take this country back to my grandfather's age. It's like, no, there's a reason why things changed.
I'm so happy I grew up when I didn't know.
Right.
In the Great Depression and shit, my grandmother used to have to collect cigarettes and then she'd roll them up for her uncles. That's what she had to do all day.
Wow.
She'd collect cigarette butts and re-roll them up and give them to her older brothers and uncles and stuff.
And no air conditioning. It's just hot.
Cutting grass with scissors.
You're just you're just out there all day long. No water.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing too. That's wild, dude. No electricity. You know, down in Soho, you know why the windows are so big? I just learned this. I took a tour in New York. The windows in Soho are extremely big because there wasn't electricity when those buildings were built.
Oh, yeah.
The business owners wanted to let more light in, and they could make you work longer.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is that crazy or what?
Yeah. Well, just think, too. Even this room, it's hot as hell right now. Just imagine, back then, like, the 8-hour workday didn't even start until, like, a few decades ago. But back then, it was just a regular workday is like 14 hours.
Wow.
You're like 12 years old. You're immediately
in
thrown
America, you think?
Oh, yeah. The 8-hour workday was like the 1920s or something.
Damn.
Before that, it was like, no, everybody works sun up to sundown. And you start working when you're like 10.
Like them farm boys.
Yeah.
Dude,
but even, I always wonder back then, were any kids going into that situation, like just saying like, this seems kind of fucked up?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, dude.
I don't know. Maybe because they didn't know. That was just how you did it back then.
I'm sure everybody still complain like they do now. You know, you always see those people. I just seen people at the MTA. He's like, yeah, man, everybody wants to complain about their job. He's like, 6 more weeks, I'm quitting. I'm out. This is just summer for me. He's going to be there for 25 years.
Ah, yeah, and he's not doing shit all day
It's a good
either.
city job. He's just standing there bullshit. He was talking to the girl about weed. He's at work, dude, pulling buds out. She's like, wow, I never seen no shit like that before.
See that? Like back in the day, that would have been like, those kinds of jobs would have been unthinkable. When everybody else's job was to like go into a factory for 10 hours and like sew pockets onto something.
It's like that guy that points aisle 7.
Yeah.
That dude's got it made.
That's a good look.
You know how many people hate that guy?
Yeah.
Everybody. I guarantee you. The people making coffee, doing those espressos, banging the machine. Yeah, aisle 7's open. That's all he does. Aisle 4. Go to aisle 4. Easiest job in the world.
I don't know. I feel like, there's always going to be people complaining, and it's like, I know what it's like to have that kind of job, and you do feel like complaining. No one ever has a job like that, and like, on day 1 and like day 1 to day 3, you're like, oh, this is pretty sweet.
Right.
I don't do shit all day. And then once you get to day 4, and it's like, you just, oh man, I'm clocked in. I got to be here for 8 hours. It's like, this sucks.
Dude, you could literally hear it in people's voices. They're always ecstatic about the job. Hey, man, like I got a friend. He had like 80 different jobs. He could never hold down a job.
Yeah.
And he's always calling me, bro, man, I finally got this job, dude. It's mad easy. And Tech, my buddy Tech, he's cool.
Yeah.
Man, Tech does this, and we have fun, dude. By day number 3, he's like, well, me and Tech almost got into a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
His boss is an asshole.
Are you just stuck in the same place with the same people?
Yeah.
And it's like, psychologically, no matter how, it's almost better to have a job that's hard. That's the thing that I realized, because I've had jobs in the past where I just didn't really do shit. Where it's the kind of job where you like clock in and maybe you do about an hour of work.
Yeah.
And then you're just sort of waiting for someone to tell you what to do. But it's like, I think when you're young, you think that that's like an ideal situation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm getting paid to not do shit. And then once you get older, you realize that like, no, you want to be busy you want to be as busy as possible for the entire day.
Yeah.
Just so it actually goes by.
Yeah, it goes by so much quicker. I used to have a job at a car wash. We'd have to wait for cars to come in. Dude, time went by. Now time flies by because I'm doing comedy. But,
Yeah.
dude, I swear I'd be looking at a calendar like, damn, it feels like there's 90 days in June. Dude, I'd be counting down for July 4th for one day off.
Yeah, and it's like an hourly job, so you are getting paid.
No, we weren't getting paid. We got paid by the car.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, sometimes we'd sit there for 4 hours and not make $1.
That's horrible.
Yeah, dude, it sucked.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
You just hear the clock would make a noise every minute. It'd go click.
Wow.
Dude, we'd just be watching the clock.
No, I mean, I've had those kinds of jobs, though, where it's hourly. So you are on the clock.
Oh, I would love that.
But it's like, no, you think you would love that. But then after a while, it's like you try to stay busy and like wipe off a table or something.
Yeah.
You try to sweep a little bit, but then it's like, no, I still got 7 hours here.
Yeah, but you're getting paid for nothing. Well, would they tell you, hey, man, sweep the floor?
Well, that's the problem is that they still tell you you're supposed to like find something to do. But most of the time, there's just nothing going on.
Dude, there was this dude I worked with, and he begged us for the damn job, and it was that same place. They hired his ass hourly. He didn't have to do nothing. He still complained.
People complain.
He's like, I'm just sat on this milk crate all day.
That's the thing is like people want to feel useful. I think deep down there is a human need to like feel. That's what they always say. It's like when somebody's like struggling like mentally and they're fucking up their life. Nobody wants to feel like a charity case where it's like nobody wants like their family coming up to them saying like, what can I do for you? You know, let me help you out. I want to do something for you, because that makes them feel worse.
Yeah.
What people actually want in that situation is like, no, I need you to help this other guy out.
Yeah.
Because at least that way you feel like you're like contributing to something.
Or just being good at something.
Yeah.
Like that helps you so much. Like if you learn how to play pool really good, now all of a sudden you feel like I'm not a loser. I could play pool now.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm a loser for 23 hours a day. But at least I got something to look forward to.
That's like those people that play video games great. Like I've had friends, that was their whole thing.
Yeah.
They'd be like, you want to play? I'm like, dude, I don't play video games. They'd be so mad at me.
Yeah.
That's
like, the problem, though, is I think it's good to be good at something, even if it's just like video games or, pool or some other sport. But I think there's a lot of people these days whose only hobby is looking at TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's like you spend 8 hours at work doing nothing, just looking forward to getting home and watching TikTok videos. And it's like that's what leads to kind of a spiral, I think.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Then you realize, and the TikTok's just making you feel worse and worse about yourself.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed detailing cars for a good 7-year period. There was something that you just feel good. Like when you build something, when you clean a car and you fix it.
Well, you know what the car looked like when it came in.
Yeah.
And you know what it looks like when it's going out. And it's like there's your work right there.
Or if you built a shelf,
yeah.
You're like, oh, look at that shelf.
You contributed. Even when we do moving jobs. And it's like you start off and the boxes are all over here.
Yeah.
4 hours later, the boxes are all over there. It's like I can walk into this room and see it.
Yeah.
And as opposed to like an office job where you just sat down and you answered 2 emails and then you just pretended to type for 5 hours.
Actually, you know what? I did have a job like that. And you're right. I had it for a very short period selling cars. And you could always find something to do selling cars, but you don't want to. But, dude, it would be 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was miserable. I would be eating just out of stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you get bored.
Yeah.
They tell us get in a phone book and cold call people and act like you knew them. They're like, don't say you got out the phone book. Be like, oh no, I got your number from your sister and then or your nephew from so and so's high school or whatever.
Yeah.
And they treated that serious. And some people would, dude. I knew car salesmen that joined every different religion in the neighborhood just to sell cars.
Wow.
Dude, they'd have people coming in with the little blankets and praying and stuff.
Jeez.
And then the next day that you'd see like the priest would be buying a car, like a white priest with the thing. They'd have pastors there and like.
See, I actually respect that more than the kind of job where you don't do shit. Because at least that guy is hustling.
He's hustling.
I mean, that guy wakes up in the morning and thinks, how can I sell cars?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, and I'm sure as you do it, as the years go by, you get better and better at it. And
yeah.
You learn the tricks. But it's at least that guy is like, you know, he's really pouring himself into his job.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll tell you the main tricks with selling cars is you got to find places where you could rip people off. Like there used to be salesmen would go to high schools, like senior graduation and be like, hey, you accomplished this. Now it's time for the next big step in your life. And they'd give them
$300 down.
Yeah. And dude, they'd be like, oh, shortly, your credit's not bad. You just turned 18.
48-month lease.
Oh, dude, you'd see these kids driving Escalades. They'd be like, it's $1,100 a month.
It's like, a lease. I just can't. Yeah, I can only drive about 400 miles a month.
My parents said it was a dumb idea, but I did it anyway. Yeah. I'm 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they get you. There was the churches would be a good one. Retirement homes if you want to sell cars.
Wow.
They get you there, you know.
See, I feel like it's almost like selling a car like that, it's almost more respectable if it's just a cash deal. Where it's like, this car costs $8,000, give me $8,000 in cash.
Yeah.
And that's like, you're really selling a car. But those kinds of car salesmen, they become bankers.
Yeah, they do.
Where it's like, they understand how like, APY works or whatever.
Yeah, they try to hold you actually get money off from the dealer and they try to hold it. They'll take the money off the front end.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, do you got a trade? Okay, cool. We're really going to get $3,000 for the trade. Tell them you're going to get $2,000. You just made $1,000.
Yeah.
And then, that's how they do it.
68 months.
Right. Yeah, they add that little extra on. Then there's dock fee. You'll be like, what's this $1,800? Oh, that's dock fee. Let me talk to my boss, see if we can lower it. It's like, look, just give me the best price.
Yeah.
I always just went in places and bought cars regular. I mean, even when I was a kid, I told you this. I would go up to people and try to buy their car. I remember
straight up cash.
$500 sometimes. 12 years old and people would sell me a car.
Just cash for pink slip.
I sold a dude a car one time on eBay and he was so pissed, dude. He showed up. But it's like, dude, what do you expect? I'm 14 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you need to look in the mirror.
Yeah. Do you think I'm going to do a good business?
This is your fault. You sold the car though?
Yeah, I sold it. The problem with the car was it was the sheet metal. I didn't know this. If you live somewhere by the salty water, is that the ocean? Which one has salt in it? Mm-hmm. So if you live there, in the air, it thins metal out.
Yeah.
It's insane. So the dude, he didn't want to buy the car. I was like, why don't you want to buy it? And he's like, I'll show you why. And he took the deck lid, like the back of the trunk part of the car.
Yeah.
And dude, he started bending it and rolled it up. I'm like, now you have to buy it.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, I got your money already. He was so pissed. He stood in front of my house for like 6 hours. He was acting like he's going to call the police.
Just standing there?
Yeah. It's like, dude, I had pictures of the car. I said it's, I put pictures. I said it looks decent to me.
Right, yeah.
What do you want me to say, man? I didn't know.
Hey, it's all in the game.
Salt metal, sheet metal.
Yeah.
People would show up with magnets on cars. My dad will restore cars. He'll take a car that looks like the biggest piece of shit you'd ever see in your life. Like, he'd buy it for like $500. Or one time he traded a mini bike for a car.
Wow.
And dude, he'd make that car look brand new. He was so good with taking Bondo and plaster. It would look factory somehow.
Right.
And he'd just do stuff with metal and welding and grinding. And I'd be like, dude, you just made a piece of trash look showroom. A car he painted, sold.
Well, he's not doing anything to like the engine or the transmission.
I think he pulled it out and put new gaskets and yeah, dude, he just made it look good.
Yeah. But I mean, you drive that car for another couple of years.
Oh yeah, the oil's probably leaking.
Yeah.
People used to know tricks. They'd be like, "Nah, you gotta put stop leak in the oil, and it'll stop your engine blocks cracked, and it'll get you 3 months." Or like,
right? Yeah.
People would be putting antifreeze in cars. And test drive it now.
Oh my God.
They'd be like, one thing is you can't drive it more than 20 minutes because I got stuff to do.
Man, I kind of miss having a car and driving, but I've never actually owned like a good car that was like reliable.
Yeah.
So anytime it was just that's why I moved to New York over any other city. It was just because I didn't have to have a car here. But just the feeling of just knowing that your car could break down at any moment. I just went through that. It was like 5 years of this car just like barely getting anywhere. I always made it, but I'm always like, I wouldn't even want to do like a 2-hour drive.
Oh yeah, dude, I could never. My cars would never go more than that.
Yeah,
my cars would be blowing up in comedy clubs parking lots for an hour drive.
Yeah,
I had some big piece of shit cars, man. I'd be driving it, the floorboard was missing, snow'd be flying up, hitting people.
Yeah,
it'd make it fun though.
But it's one of those things where it's like if you added up all of your shitty cars, you could have bought a good car.
Yeah, probably.
But it's just that's never when you're that young. Your brain doesn't work that way.
I would have to take my time because a good car was only like $2,500 back then.
I mean, relatively
in Ohio, you can get something clean for $2,500.
But I mean, like a reliable, like relatively new, like Toyota.
That's something for like $7,000.
Yeah.
Dude, but some of those Toyotas, I don't know. You catch some deals, dude. I had this Blazer monster truck with these big tires on it. And I slid and hit a telephone. Those tires, it's like they catch ice and rain.
Wow.
So it just jerk your wheel, dude. It's crazy. Like, you ever see them big trucks? Them big tires are hard to control, actually, in the snow. You think it'd be easier.
There's a reason why trucks are built the way they are.
Right. Dude, I had like these
it's not meant to be on, like, roller skates.
And, dude, I hit this telephone pole. Dude, it blew the back window of my truck out.
Wow.
And, like, the back windows, for some reason, it was a rare hand-crank back window. It was like $500 everywhere. So I just drove without a back window.
Oh, my God.
And the exhaust fumes, dude. Me and all my friends would be all high and falling asleep from the car exhaust for like a year, dude.
Yeah, that's doing more than hitting your head.
Yeah, probably.
I guarantee you that.
My friends would be in school. They'd be like, "What are you guys smoking? Dom gave us a ride." Dude, we'd be out of it.
But just imagine how nice it would be if once we actually start making some money to actually just drop like $15,000 on a car. I mean, like, you don't even get a new car. That's dumb. But you buy like a car, like, 2021 Nissan Sentra.
Yeah,
dude. You just put oil in it every 10,000 miles.
Get something with like 3,000 miles.
Yeah, I mean, those cars these days, you get like 40 miles a gallon. It's like, man, how nice would that be? And you don't got to think about anything.
Can you imagine? New York, first off, it would step you up majorly if you have a car.
Yeah.
Any car, really. But if you have something nice in New York.
Yeah. Well, not even like nice, but just like some Japanese shit.
Reliable.
Yeah, a reliable car that's like not like a old piece of shit.
And then you got to always tell people, yeah, man, grandma owned.
Yeah.
All freeway miles.
Yep. I
got the oil receipts.
Well, people in New York, because it's so expensive to own a car here, most people who have a car are generally doing like a little better. But I think back in like when I was living in Southern California, I'm sure you had this in Ohio. I mean, everybody has a car.
Yeah.
So people just keep selling their shitty car back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually it just completely stops running. But until the end, people are spending like, I don't think there's anybody in New York City who spent like $400 on a car.
No.
But that is a very common thing in like most other parts of the country.
It really is.
It's like you still see like a 1982 Mazda or something in like where it's just like no AC.
Yeah.
Windows don't really roll down anymore.
I had one of those. Dude, I had this Monte Carlo. Me and my buddy, we moved out like we were 18, both of us living together. We had one car between the both of us, and the windows didn't go down. So we would, in summertime, like July, dude, and we'd have to we worked at a call center. We had to wear suits there.
Yeah.
We'd be driving to work with the doors open.
Oh my God.
Cops would pull us over like, dude, what the hell are you doing? We'd be like, the windows don't go down.
Yeah, right. You think I want to do this?
Yeah, you can't even ticket somebody.
Bro, I'm telling you. Yeah. I would love to not do this right now, but I'm sorry. Things are bad.
We'd legit be driving with the doors open.
And
then the steering messed up on it, and That's that car somebody stole, dude. The steering went out, so I took the steering box out. My dad knows all about cars. He's like calling me and tells me how to take it out. So I take the whole steering box out completely. The car's in my driveway, and somebody stole it. Remember that story I told you? And you just see the straight line into the woods.
Wow.
And then we got inside the car, and there was hair and skin hanging from the windshield. Yep. And they were like, yeah, some dude with no face went running in the woods with your car stereo. Me and my buddies went looking for him.
See, what was even that guy's plan?
I'll tell you, I don't know what his plan was, but I really would like to know what my buddy's plan was, because I told him over the phone. 10 minutes later, he showed up with a 22 sniper rifle. I'm like, dude, what? Like, seriously, you got a sniper rifle, dude?
Yeah, look at the car. There's no way this is worth
it. $20 car stereo.
Yeah.
But that's how you know that's a good friend, dude.
Yeah, he's down to ride.
And he had a baby, too. He's like, I don't care, dude. I'll shoot somebody with this sniper rifle. Bolt action.
Yeah.
You know, we're walking through the woods with a sniper rifle.
Wow.
Imagine if a cop would have stopped us then. What the fuck are you guys
It's a long story.
Yeah, listen, you think I want to do this?
Fucked up car back there? Well, that's what led to this.
You see a guy with no face by chance?